Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com, trying to figure out this weekend's college games. I love it because with the selection committee, every weekend you have at least one game, or if the team loses, they're out of it. So to help us try to figure it all out is Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com, at thepowerrank on Twitter. And first of all, Ed, you're a much smarter guy than Levack and I combined.
True.
Multiplied times 10. You got the PhD from Stanford. Can you give us an idea of what you do at thepowerrank.com?
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot for having me on, guys. At the Power Rank, I crunch numbers to better understand college football. And at the heart of it is I took my research that I did a long time ago and I applied it to ranking sports teams. And really what it does is it accounts for strength of schedule. So especially this year, you look at college football, and all 7 of the teams in the SEC West are in the top 20 of my team rankings. So that's what this tries to do, right? It tries to say, like, okay, well, you guys are really beating everyone else a lot. I'm going to give you credit for that, and then I'm going to adjust that because, so for a conference like the MAC, you see that, all your division games, you're really not playing very strong teams. So it tries to make that separation based on strength of schedule. And the statistics that it uses is margin of victory.
Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. When you compare your analytics to the new selection committee and the college football rankings, what are you learning? What have you seen from the selection committee thus far?
Well, the selection committee is acting like the AP poll. So the idea there is if a team loses, you drop anywhere between 4 and maybe 12 spots, and you're taking your spot at the back of the line. So Ole Miss is a perfect example. I thought the committee actually might go pretty light on them because they ended up losing the game to Auburn on a very late fumble on the goal line where the receiver kind of got bent backwards. I thought the committee would take it easy on them. Nope, they dropped 7 spots. They're back at, I think, 11th or maybe 10th now. I think they jumped up because that was 2 weeks ago. So it's really a poll mentality, and that has some really interesting consequences because it really means you don't want to lose late. If you're going to lose early. Don't lose that last week of the season because it pretty much means you're out.
So far, how do you feel about this system? Do you like it, Ed?
Well, I do because we're getting more playoff games. So we're going to get 3 games instead of 1,
Sure.
Which I think is a vast improvement. I think college football fans are going to hate this on December 7th. That's my I don't give lock predictions, but that is my lock prediction of the decade because a really good team is going to get left out. And if that really good team is from a large fan base like Ohio State, there's going to be some angry people, not only in Columbus, Ohio, but on the internet, and there's really no way to distinguish between the 4th and 5th best team in the country. I mean, I certainly can't with all my numbers. I don't know how the committee possibly is going to do that.
Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com, and Ed developed a ranking algorithm for teams based on his PhD research at Stanford. Since 2005, the higher-ranked team has won 62.3% of college football bowl games. Now, Ed, we're looking at the biggest game in the country that we'll have right on this station on Saturday. Number 1, Mississippi State. Number 5, Alabama. What is your algorithm? What are you guys thinking and saying at thepowerrank.com in regards to this game?
Yeah, I was actually just working on an article for the blog. Alabama is really the most balanced team that I see in the country. I think we have this. I rank offense and in defense, and what I do is I take a statistic like yards per play, and then I adjust for strength of schedule, similar to what I talked about before. Alabama ends up being 7th on offense and 2nd on defense. So they're the only team with both of their units that high in my offense and defense rankings. And Mississippi State is an incredible team, but their defense is 37th in the nation. So that's where I see Alabama having an edge. I see that offense eventually breaking through and scoring a bunch of points and winning that game.
Wow. So you believe Alabama will beat Mississippi State this weekend? And if that happens, Ed, talk about the selection committee. That is going to be maybe the most interesting rankings that come out on Tuesday.
No doubt. Absolutely. You have this undefeated Mississippi State team that's going to lose their first game. So I do these calculations for Bleacher Report where I take the current committee rankings and try to project what happens at the end, so who's going to make the playoffs. And I kind of assume that you on average, make a 7-team drop if you lose. But that really might not be the case if Mississippi State loses. It's going to be the first loss. I actually honestly think if that game is close, maybe they drop to 4. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, so if they lose but keep it close, that was going to be my question, is the margin of defeat. If they keep it close, Mississippi State probably has a better chance of still being in this thing, even if they do lose to Alabama.
I think so, but again, these are one of the things that none of us can predict until they come out with those new rankings on Tuesday night.
And I love that, by the way. I mean, you being an algorithm guy, do you get uncomfortable with the human element that it's unpredictable? Because I love that aspect, at least from a media standpoint, of every week going, who knows what's going to happen? This is great.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, in some sense, yeah, it does make me uncomfortable because there's things that I can't predict. But, I mean, from my point of view, as long as I'm open to you and all your listeners about what I can't predict, that's the best I can do.
Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com. Follow him on Twitter at thepowerrank.
Ed, right now it seems like everybody's just kind of penciling FSU in as an undefeated team. Florida State goes into the Final Four without a loss, but thepowerrank.com says not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, yeah. So Florida State, if you watch this team, this defense is not the same that it's been the last couple of years. They don't get any pressure on the quarterback. And I have them, this was a unit that was top 5 the last few years in my rankings, and it's dropped to in the 30s, maybe the 40s right now. So outside of, they're better than average, but not the elite unit that you expect from Florida State. So I actually have them losing to Miami. They travel to Miami. I have them losing to Miami. It should be a close game. I have it about a 2-point game in Miami's favor. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in that game.
All right, so we've listed some of the bigger games. What ones, analytically speaking, this weekend are the games that are really sticking out to you?
Well, certainly the Florida State and Miami game. I think that one's particularly interesting. One that really popped up on my radar this morning was Auburn at Georgia. So my numbers give Auburn a ever so slight edge, maybe a half point, essentially saying it's a 50-50 game. But the line came out at favoring Georgia by 2.5. And I find that really interesting because Georgia is getting their star running back, Todd Gurley, back for this game. And I just kind of wonder how that is affecting kind of the market mentality. So that's another one I'm really looking forward to.
Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com. And Ed, you're giving my Texas Tech, my alma mater, a 7% chance against OU. I got to tell you, I'm beat down this season. I don't know if I would have given them a 0.7% chance, so I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Woo, it's been a tough
Oh, you're
one.
welcome. Anything I can do.
Oh, it's been a tough season. Ed, I want to ask you, man, Yankees general manager Brian Cashman uses analytics more than any other general manager in baseball. Is there a sport where analytics have more of an advantage than in others?
Yeah, I certainly think baseball. Baseball, you just have a lot of games. You have a lot of at-bats where you can look at how a batter can perform. You have a lot of pitches and a lot of at-bats that a lot of hitters that a pitcher faces, so you get some pretty good statistics there. And it's a really beautiful thing because you have a big sample and you have these isolated matchups between pitcher and batter. So in football, everything is very team-related. So everything I've been telling you guys about today, yards per play, adjusted for schedule, that's really like the team. And you can do a lot more in baseball just because you have those pitcher-batter matchups. So I definitely think, baseball is a really cool thing. And obviously that's where all this stuff started. And I don't know if any one of us would be talking about analytics right now had Michael Lewis not written Moneyball, which was the book about how Oakland had been using analytics to win baseball games. So baseball is definitely kind of the heart of all of the sports analytics.
So, Ed, final question for me is, on a Jeopardy program, who wins, you or Andrew Luck, for the Stanford title?
Ooh.
I'm going to give it to Andrew. I'm not particularly a good Jeopardy guy. I think I got lost too much in math at some point in school. And that's a smart kid, so I'm going to give it to Andrew.
Humble as well.
Well, yeah, that, and I mean, look how big Andrew Luck is. I'd be like, Andrew Luck and his beard is the winner, man. Whatever, just leave me alone.
Mongo Luck, eat Ed Feng.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Ed Feng of thepowerrank.com, at thepowerrank. Check out his algorithm system that he has. PhD from Stanford, smart guy. Ed, thanks for your time today, man. Enjoy your college football weekend, and you know where we're at if we can ever help you out, my brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks.